Hello YouTube model building community, Chris Chapman here. Just getting ready to start my video for the foil. Had a plan to do it yesterday and I had a bunch of stuff come up, a family deal last night. And kind of yesterday started messing around and working on my interior. Got some of the knobs, everything in there is done, all my dash gauges. Used needle pins, the heads of them for the knobs, drilled them out. I don't know, where is it? Right there. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. And you just stick them through on the back and you cut them off. Glue them in there, so looks pretty good. I'm liking the way it's turning out. Like I said, the interior tub is done. Got my Photo Etch stuff in there. So it's coming along nice. There's the front seat. Got it all ready to go. So we're going to go ahead, start off with the materials needed. This is going to be done not using bare metal foil. Reynolds wrap, aluminum foil. Nice and shiny. This, I've already cut me out a piece here. So that's what we'll be using. Scissors. X-Acto. Very, very, very sharp X-Acto. I like to start off with a brand new blade. And I don't actually use, where is it? There you are. I don't use the number 11 X-Acto blades. I do keep them around for some things, but that's pretty much scraping and stuff. But you can see the differences. This one here, the number 11, is what I use to etch my door panels, my trunk panels and stuff, using the back of it and things. Also, I use the 11 for scraping off my flash. But for cutting, I use surgical blades. I got like 100 of these for like 12 bucks online on eBay with free shipping. And things are sharp, 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 sharp. Just love it the way they cut. We'll be needing an old t-shirt, of which I forgot to get, and I'll grab it here in a minute. Now, this can be done with regular, I don't have my regular glue here, Mod Podge, wherever that, oh there it is. You can use this, it dries clear. This just takes some time to dry. So, Elmer's glue, white glue, that works just as good. But we have the micro metal foil adhesive, sorry. This is what I use. It tacks up fairly quick, you know, just put it on, let it sit there for a minute or two, put your foil on it. By the time you burnish it all out and stuff, give it a minute or two, cut it out, peel off the excess. Whatever is left over on the paint, you're able to go in there and wipe it off with a Q-tip dipped in water. Cleans it right off, so there's no extra residue. Also dries clear, and so it's a really good product, cheap. You could do, I don't know how many bodies with this. I'm probably guessing for a body like this, 75 bodies with this and half of one of these rolls. This is 25 yards. Let me see, 25 yards, 22.86 meters. Oh, 6.96 millimeters. I or meters, whatever that is for you people over in the UK. You can figure that out. So it just, this and that is a cheap, affordable way, and I get the same results as I do with bare metal foil. So now I've already gone and taken off the tape where I had it all taped up while I painted and cleared this. This has been already waxed, polished, and everything, and I do that just to protect the paint. When I get done doing all of this, I'm going to go and put another light coat of wax over the top of this and call it good. Throw it in my display box, put it in my cabinet, and there it'll sit until who knows when. So, got my doors and everything all sitting down here ready to go. Now, the way that I do this, where I peeled off my tape, there's a little bit of an underbleed where the paint kind of went underneath, or there's a little bit of a ridge on some parts from when I peeled the tape up. On this sections, I use sanding sticks. This one here is the fine grit. And then I've got a coarse, not so coarse, and fine. And I just go through, like right here across the hood. I'll take the coarser grit and go side to side. And just make sure that I sand this stuff smooth, of which also blends the paint and the clear coat that I have on there, and makes it nice and smooth. Any blemishes, creates a straight line all the way across. Don't have to do it very hard. And then I switch over to the other side. And I work on this coming across again, just lightly. You don't want to get up into the paint. Wipe it with your finger so that you get the residue off. Then you switch to your fine grit. And you just take it across the same way. And that's going to turn around and give you the flattest, cleanest, nicest possible area for you to put your foil on. Now I do this with bare metal foil, whatever. It just always, the smoother this is, the cleaner and prepped this is, the smoother your bare metal foil, your aluminum foil, any kind of foil, even your chrome paint. If you decide, use Alclad, tape it up and stuff. If this here isn't smooth, you're going to see little ridges, you're going to see scratches, cuts, all kinds of stuff in it. And so I like to, after everything, just right before I get ready to do that, I like to go over all of it just to make sure that it's nice and clean and neat. I've got my door here. You can kind of see it's got a little bit of a ridge here and a ridge there. We'll go ahead and start. Trying to keep it dark in here because I notice that comes up a lot better if I do. I got some dust on, I don't know. Kind of hard to see with it being darker, but I want you guys to be able to pick it up on the camera. Here. This way I can see. I just kind of rub it across there. Knock down the high spots. Don't want to get into the paint again, so you got to be very careful and be able to see what you're doing. So that one came out really good. Knocked all that high stuff down. A little bit more right here, but you can see how it just smoothed it right out. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over off camera here really quick so I can get this done and get moving on. There we go. See? So, I've got a little bit of cleanup to do on this. Won't take me long, I bet, maybe 15-20 minutes. And I don't think you guys want to sit there and watch me for 15-20 minutes getting this prepped. I would have normally already done this, but this is a part and procedure in doing the foil or any kind of bare metal foil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause it now, save you guys the agony of listening to me ramble on while I do this. Go ahead and finish getting me some coffee here because it's been a long morning. And once I get this all done and prepped and ready, I'll go ahead and grab the shirt that I forgot to get, and I'll come back on and we'll go ahead and continue on. So I will talk at you all here very shortly. Yeah, hello there. Well, I ran into a little bit of a complication. Turns out, when I thought I was recording, I wasn't. I went ahead and hit the record button, started putting this on, showing you how it was going. Spent about 30 minutes getting some pieces put on with the chrome foil, the aluminum foil. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this wrapped up, and I will be back with the finished product. And I went back to watch it just a few minutes ago, and it turns out, well, actually yesterday, but turns out it didn't record. When I actually hit the stop record button, it started to record, and it sat here with the music going, me singing along with it, of which I don't have a good singing voice. I've got people coming in and out having conversations while I'm working on this, and I just continued to keep going on it, and the footage was horrible. Most of the time I had it out of view of the camera and everything. So technically, as of this point, I have already taught you guys and showed you how to do the foil job on the sides. Got the rear done, got a little bit of touch up to do. Got that over there done. Rear window frame, all done. Got the doors done. Got that one there. This door here. So I have, that's what it looks like with the door on. Nice chrome strip running all the way down the side. Turned out really good. So I guess that would conclude the tutorial that I was going to do for you. I sure hope that information in this video helps you in some way. I hope that it shows you a different alternative to using bare metal foil, and that you guys kind of have another way, of a low-cost way of being able to do something. So I'd like to thank all my subscribers, all my friends, everybody that's kind of followed along in my series here. And I guess it's time to move on to the next thing, next project, next video. I can't believe that happened. I do, however, still have the front window, this little segment over here, and the rock guard panels down here I'm going to do in chrome. I've got them taped up right now. Give me a place to hold and things without smudging or gunking anything up. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do this on the window frame. And it's not quite the tutorial that I wanted to do, and I know a lot of you guys was hoping I'd do. I've got another build coming up here, a 53 Chevy Bel Air. It's got some chrome trim down the side and stuff, so maybe I'll redo it. But for right now, to keep this series going, I'll go ahead and show you how I do this and try to do it quick here so I don't bore you too much. Big Boss Jim was asking me about this, and kind of want to get this done in a little bit of this is how I do it. So Big Boss, I hope you're able to stay awake for this, and it's not too exciting or anything, so hopefully it doesn't get too boring. I'm going to start off by telling you the way I do this. I've learned in the past, especially with me, you know, I get nervous, I get down there and I get the shaky hands with my knife blade. I like to put tape down. You can see right here how I put the tape down, then I've cut it out. Now that gives me a guide for my blade to follow along so I can get good crisp clean cuts. Also, when I put my glue down, the glue will stay on top of the tape, so once I get this all cut out, I can lift the foil on, then do any trimming. The trimming will actually stick to the tape, and when I peel that off, it takes off the little teeny tiny slivers and stuff. And so, you know, you get those shaky hands down here, and I can kind of tap this a few times. It's not going to hurt the paint. And, you know, if you get going and you're out of whack just a little bit, it's not on the paint job, it's on the tape. So, a little bit of extra work, but I did that with my bare metal foil also because I have stabbed or dragged a blade across the paint and put pretty good scratches and nicks and things. And, you know, it really upsets you when you put all that work into it and then you go and do something stupid and ruin a $3 paint job. So, with that said, that explains the tape. We'll go ahead and start with this side piece over here. Use my little micro applicator. And then I just spread it around on here quite liberally. You want to get a good coating of it. And this goes the same for Elmer's glue, Hodge Podge white glue. Make sure you get it down inside of everything. Oh, I got music playing, guys. I'm sorry. Let me shut that off. I don't think I've done that another couple of times. Just get going and forget. That there's got to tack up a little bit. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes or a minute or so to kind of set up and dry a little bit. While I do that, I want to thank everybody that's kind of been following along with these tutorials. If this is the first one you've come across, I've done some on applying acrylic paints, and of which is what this car is. It's all acrylic paints. This is done by the roof. Was just apple barrel acrylic cheap 59-cent paint from Walmart mixed with windshield washer fluid. And then the body was done in a bronze, which is this bronze right here. Again, just a cheap bottle of acrylic paint. Then I've got another video on applying floor polish. I use LA's Totally Awesome Mop and Shine, which is same results and same stuff as Future or Pledge with Future. And so I kind of did them videos. I showed a video prior to this of how I polished it out and waxed it out, so it brings in that nice shine, makes everything nice and smooth and clean. This one here is the foil, which I've really thought I was getting some good footage, but guess not. And then I'm going to do a final, you know, do my panel lines and things like that. So for those of you that haven't seen the other videos, check out my YouTube channel and you'll find them. I'd like to also thank my subscribers and everybody that's kind of followed along with me. A lot of people here, and you know, I'm not doing anything new. I'm not showing you something you haven't seen before. Dr. Cranky and Adam X, Andy X, sorry. You know, my acrylic paints, Gary over there at MC Model Works and Chris out at Classic Plastic 101. I'm taking stuff that they showed me and then kind of passing it on them how I do it and stuff. I kind of do a little bit of different mixture here, you know, and a lot of people were asking for them, so I've done this series just so that people can see how I do it. It's not my way. I didn't create or invent any of this. It's kind of came along. from many, many people, many teachers. So this is another thing. Rick Howard, the badass Canadian from Canada, he did a deal on using this stuff, the micro metal foil adhesive. And I bought some, buggered up 3 or 4 kits, went out, bought bare metal foil, put it on. Then I kept coming back and trying it, and the more I worked with it, the better I got, and get really good results inexpensively. So I'd like to thank everybody that's kind of followed along, all my subscribers and everything, and guys over on Facebook pages and groups that I belong to. Got some great people that I've met. I'm going to go ahead and put this on as I talk here, and let me show you what I'm doing real quick. I've got my dry Q-tip. Once you get it on, you go ahead and just burnish it. And get it all over on the edges. And again, where the tape was at, it will turn around and help you cut this straight. You just need to make sure that you get down in there and get it burnished out really good. Just like that. Now this here, once you get it on, will take, again, a couple minutes for it to get set up. So I'm going to leave it like that. Make sure I get this all down into the nooks and crannies, as people call them, so that it looks nice and uniformed. And when this gets done, hopefully it'll come out looking like that bottom one right there. So, now back to my little thank you thing. I met some great, wonderful people and stuff along the way here in the hobby, and I'd like to thank everybody again for following along. One guy in particular, a friend of mine from Texas, Gabriel Espinoza, I'd like to give a shout out to his wife. You know, me and him's been chatting and stuff here and there for about a year, maybe less, I'm not sure. But great guy, trying to do this. He's got some health issues, and it's hard for him to get up and get out to go paint, using the paints with the chemicals and all that stuff, the enamels and lacquers. And when I started introducing my models with the acrylics, he contacted me and asked me about them, and kind of been helping him out. Well, it turns out his wife has been helping him out a lot, getting into this new system, getting a airbrush and a air compressor, and he's working on getting an air booth and stuff, or a paint booth and things. So I really think it's cool when you got somebody there, and this is pretty much going out to everybody who has an old lady there, boyfriend, significant other sitting there helping you along with the hobby and stuff. It's really made up. I mean, he's told me more and over how grateful he is. And in fact, he took her out shopping yesterday, and she let him get some of the Novus polishing, polish the Pearl X powders and stuff, and pick up some bottles of paint, and mentioned on message to me how excited he was that he decided to take her to a movie. So, you know, I think it's really cool when you get somebody like that standing behind you. So, kudos to Gabriel's wife. Haven't got her name yet, but who knows, maybe one day we'll hear that she's picked up a kit and joining in on some of this with us. So, okay, that said, Gabe, thanks a lot for all your advice and your help and stuff. It's kind of what we're all doing here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just burnish this down with my fingertip really quick. This has had a few minutes to set up. Should be okay. And we'll go ahead and get this off. Now I'm going to do everything I can to keep this in frame, but sometimes I'll pull it out just so that I can see where I'm at. And I just start right here. Without any weight on the blade, you just very carefully let the weight of the blade do the work for you. You just kind of follow along where that tape line is. That tape line is your guide. And you come up inside, bring it out. And I'm going to come up and hit the inside of the top one. And very, very lightly. You don't want to put too much pressure. Kind of wrap this around right here. And just follow that tape line. Once you get to that point, I'll come over, hit this area right here, down the center, which is kind of odd on this 58 Chevy Impala. You have it, and it has four prongs that come off of there on the body. All the pictures that I found show it as just two of them being chrome with the front piece, and the other two are body color. Could never figure out why they didn't make all of them chrome. I guess I could have if I wanted to, but according to the information that I found on research at Google Plus and stuff, that's not part of it. So if you guys are looking at me thinking, hey, how come you didn't do that? That's the reason why. Trying to get this as authentic as I can. Now I've kind of just slowly peeled the foil back. And once I get it up to the front section, I'll pop that up there. I'll go ahead, peel off what I can there. Now I'll just grab this, peel it off, and pop it off. I don't know if you heard that little pop, but there you go. Now once I get that done, I'll use a Q-tip dipped in water here, and then I kind of roll it on my paper towel, get the bulk of the water out, and kind of burnish this down. I can see there's a little bit that I need to touch up. This went pretty good. Now, if you look at that, along the back here, right there, you can see how it has a little bit of, hopefully that came in. There's a little bit of extra just kind of hanging out. So we're going to come in here and just slice a little thin layer. And again, hope you can see this. I've got it sliced off, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this tape. Grab onto it with the tweezers. And now as I pull it off, you can see on the tape, maybe, that little teeny tiny foil stuck to the tape, came right off. And then that's what you're left with, a much cleaner, neater looking cut on it. Go ahead and grab this. And you can see how I just kind of peel it off. Now, you can see it's a little rough still, but that's where your moist wet Q-tip comes in. Got some glue that kind of leaked up over here, so I'll get that off. Burnish that down in there. Okay, big boss. There's your first beginner look at how I do my aluminum foil. There you go. And like I said, I got a little bit of touch-up paint and stuff to do here and there. But that came out really nice. Go ahead and get this lower windshield done. again, just get the glue, spread it all over. Now this one here, I kind of didn't really take my time too much because I can clean it up. This is water soluble stuff, and a Q-tip with water will clean up the glue. So this isn't set really perfectly in there, and to be honest with you, the reason why is I got frustrated when I found out I did all that videoing just to not have done all that videoing. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm a model builder, got great community, great friends. All is good. So, just getting this kind of spread all over. Now on this, being the window, I also come down and run a seam that comes around on the inside. So when I get this on here and I roll it down and under, it will hold tight down in there. Get that off, then rinse this. But with this being a water soluble, you don't have to go through the process with the tape and everything. It just something I enjoy doing just to kind of give me a little bit of peace of mind and insurance. So I've got my foil here, and you know, I'm sure you guys have already figured it out. The shiny side goes up, the flat side goes on the bottom. That's about the only thing that kind of bothers me is you gotta just sit here and give it a second, minute or so to kind of set up. But my next series, while we're waiting, or next video, I've got to come in here and do my panel lines and kind of clean everything up. Add a little bit of wash here and there, and I've got to do final waxing and stuff prior to that. So I'll go ahead and do the final video showing how I do my wash on my my acrylic washes and my door panels and stuff. And then after that, it's going to be put this thing together. I've got some Photo Etch to add onto it, of which will be part of my video on this. On the washes, I'll show you how I apply my Photo Etch. And then this thing will be all but done. I've got to put it together. Everything's painted. It's just waiting for this to get done, and got to drop it on there and call it good. Then off to Chevy Cheeseburger's 1953 Chevy Bel Air. That's next on my list. So, I've let that set up pretty good for a bit. So I'm going to go ahead, start from the middle. On a curve like this, you want to start on the middle and kind of work your way to the back section. Don't worry if your foil's not tight and stuff. If it is kind of loose, that's okay, because you got the curves and everything. You want to be able to cut it all out and stuff, and so, you know, having it be a little bit flexible is fine. The only thing you want to do is when you burnish this down, make sure that you burnish it down really good and tight on the and I like to start on these window things on the very top of the sill or the seam, and work from one side, from the middle to the outside, or from one side all the way around to the other side. And I'm just putting this on lightly right now so that I can make sure that it will turn around and set up right. So there I go, I got it set there. And then just gradually kind of keep burnishing it down. And working it as it sets up. This one here you can kind of play with it. Run it over. Make sure you get it in there nice and tight with your windshield wipers. Now something I like to do, and I've got a couple different types of cotton swabs here. I've got this one here, if you can see that. It's got two pointy ends on each side of it. Then I got these. Has a nice flat. This is what I use for my weathering powders. And then it's got a pointy end on the other side. These come in really handy for this kind of stuff because you got these little crooks down inside here where the windshield wipers are on both sides. I can turn around and use a point of these and push this down inside of them. These I pick up online on eBay. There's like 80 of them for $4.99, something like that, with free shipping of both styles. I like to keep them around. Like I said, this is really good for when I burger up my seats, interiors, and my chassis. You know, you get your powder and you just kind of put it on there, and then you use this to kind of push it into little crevices, then turn it around and just kind of buff it out and spread it, feather it, however you want to call it. And then you can turn around and use it across here. Now, oh, sorry about that, had a little itch. I'm gonna kind of poke it down inside here, and I want to come fairly close to the window jamb. You know, this is the same thing as the bare metal foil. I want to cut that main, where is it, right there, section, pop that off, just throw it off to the side. Now from that point, doesn't look very pretty, but I'm not here to look pretty. I'm going to go ahead and cut this on an angle, and most of you guys know how to do this with the bare metal foil. But it has a slit that goes this way and this way in the corners. That allows me to use my finger to push it down as I roll it. And that was the reason for gluing up underneath there. Then come around, and I just use my finger and I pull away from the window. So that way it's pulling it all tight. And once you get that all in there, you get it all tight like that. And go back and forth. And then you come back up on top and make sure that it's all burnished down nice and slim. So once you get that done, I'll go ahead and cut right here. Work my way along the tape line again. And bring it up into the corner of the windshield wiper. Now I myself wear the magnifiers on this. My glasses don't quite show me. They come in very, very handy on this kind of detail stuff. I'm going to kind of follow this down along the edge of the windshield wiper. Put that down off of there. And then I have just done around this windshield wiper. And so I'm going to start in the center here and bring it this way, because this is where I've stopped coming around. So if I start in the center, I can just follow that same in the windshield wiper right on up, and then you can overcut it, and meaning you come up onto the tape. So that section right there is done. Now I'll go ahead and go back over to the other side here. Go ahead and get this cut up and around. Okay, I got it up in the crook there. Come back in. Cut it along the edge of the inside part of the windshield wiper. And then again come over here to the middle. I'm sorry you guys can't see this part. There's just no place for me to put a camera to where you can watch it. And regardless, my hands are going to be in the way one way or another. So I've got it all done. Again, I just come in here. If everything works out right and I did my job properly, that should come right on off of there. Now keep in mind that we are cutting with metals. I'm going to come over here and grab this. It will take, using this kind of a system, on average 4, maybe 5 blades in your X-Acto to get this down right. We do have them wear out rather quickly, and so if it doesn't appear to be cutting properly, or you notice that it's kind of tugging or pulling, time to change your X-Acto, the blade. And while we're on that subject, this is something I've been doing for a long time. Other people have touched on it. I actually learned it from somebody a long time ago. I've got a little jar here, an old medicine bottle that's child-proof lid. Whenever you change your blades, get you one of these. I don't know if you can see them in there, but you know, it's pretty full on the bottom. But I've got a lot of blades I could put in this. You close that up. Instead of dropping them inside your garbage can with your plastic bag, you know, I've got a little plastic bag from the grocery store and a little garbage can sitting here. This is where I'm throwing all my stuff when you see me reaching over here. If you take these blades and throw them into that, they're going to cut through the plastic and they're going to fall on the floor, out on the driveway, out on the sidewalk as you're taking them out to get disposed of. Once you get this full, go and take some duct tape and wrap 4 or 5 layers around it, and then go this way and seal this thing off so that nobody can get into it and open it. The last thing you want to do is find out that a kid's come out here with no shoes on like they always do, running across the grass, and found one of your razor blades that came and escaped your garbage bag. Another thing, cats, dogs out running around in the yard and stuff. The last thing you want to do is find out that your blades here caused injury to an animal, or like I said, a kid or anybody, you know. So just a little kind of a message to show you what you can do to be a little bit safe. Okay, back to this. Sorry, but I want to point that out. Get my glasses off, lower my visor, grab my tweezers. I'm going to start with this one here. Just peel that off. Dump it down in the garbage can. Let's come over and get this side. And this kind of comes off here. It's tight. Get it up. Okay. Now, I just pull that off. Now I take my wet Q-tip, let's burnish that across there, and this will get everything to lay down nice and tight and smooth against the plastic. Now this BMF or micro metal foil adhesive works best if you put it down on bare plastic. Another reason why, oh, I need a little bit of a trim right here. And it says on the bottle to do it that way as well, that it sticks better. That's kind of one of the reasons that when I finally started this whole project, I've explained I taped this thing off so that I can have a nice clean edge. So, there you go. I got my bottom ring. Windshield wipers are all done. Now I just got to bring this up here, do the sides here and these here. This is probably going on long enough. I think you guys kind of got the gist of this. I'll go ahead and pause the recording on it real quick. Finish it up, get everything else foiled up, and then come back, show you the final product, and end this part of the tutorial. So I will talk at you here in just a few minutes. Alright guys, there's the final car, the final product, with the bare metal foil, or the aluminum foil I should say. All the foiling is done. I have re-waxed the car, kind of shined it up again. Gets that way after touching. That's one of the reasons I wax it prior to doing the foil and then again after. And that wax is going to help me with the body panel back here on the trunk light and stuff, putting in some wash so that those kind of stick out. You can see the door panels and stuff obviously aren't going to need any wash in it, but that will be the end of this tutorial, and I will be starting the next one, which will be my wash and some fine tuning of things, the Photo Etch items. So I will go ahead and get this one uploaded and get that one started. Thanks for watching. Bye.